Hey, what's up, everybody? Jeremiah Krakowski here, and I want to give you one of my biggest strategies that I use every single day, all day, for coming up with content and ideas. A lot of times I will have stuff just pop in my head while I'm doing other things. In fact, 99% of my ideas for content come when I'm not sitting down to come up with content. If I sit down to come up with social media content, I will draw a blank and usually can't even come up with anything to talk about. And so I've found that when I'm doing other things, I come up with the ideas, which is why I don't have to actually spend any intentional time coming up with the content that I want to put on my social media. The ideas they pop in my head while I'm doing other things. And so if you're somebody that happens with you, you want to document it. You want to make sure to write it down. And so I use Evernote on my phone and I just type out 1 to 2 words. I don't type out a whole description. I don't make a whole post, just 1 to 2 words of what the piece of content is if I'm doing something else. And then I have access to it on my computer. Now, what I'll do as well is I may just, and some of you, this is going to be a stretch for you. I literally just pop my phone open and record it while I'm in the middle of other things. I just pop it open and record it and do it at that moment. And then what I'll do is I'll write up a quick description on my phone, just real quick, a couple words. And so one of the biggest things is learning. You're just going to summarize what you talked about in the post, but have it have curiosity in it. So that way I don't have to upload it right away. I don't have to spend time doing that. I'm documenting it. I record it to my phone. I put it on Evernote. That took me maybe 5 minutes to come up with this piece of content. So I'm doing with this piece of content right now, in fact. And then when I have a little bit of time, either later tonight or later this week, I'll go and I will batch upload 4 or 5 of them in a row. Take me maybe 15, 20 minutes to do that. And I have the content for the whole week that way. Write stuff down. Document the ideas as they come to your mind. Many times we're trying to create this massive process to make content, to come up with ideas, when in fact you have all the tools in front of you right now to just write it down as the ideas start to come and start to flow. And if you don't get ideas that come during that time, learn to just cultivate that. Think of, okay, what's an idea that popped in my head? You might be second guessing those ideas that pop in your head, thinking that they're not good enough because they just popped in your head. And now you're going to have to come up with better ideas later, that you're going to have to better those ideas, that you're going to have to beat those ideas that popped in your head. When in fact, when you're not focused on coming up with ideas, those are actually the better ones for you to do. Okay. So document them as they pop in your head. Start to just think about, say, okay, and this is something I tell myself as I'm gonna start to process what are some ideas that I want to do on my social media, and then I wait, and those ideas just come, they pop in my mind, and I write them down on my phone. And so this is something that I believe everybody can do, everybody can cultivate. One of the biggest things is that if you're second guessing and you don't trust yourself and you don't trust those ideas and you think that they're not good enough, you're going to have a hard time having those pop in your head. And so I want to just challenge you and encourage you. Those ideas are good enough. And so stop trying to one up the ideas as they come. Document the ones that you get. As you put those out there, you're going to come up with better ideas. As you put those out there, you're going to learn what resonates better with your audience. That's why you're going to start to create a conversation with your audience. You're going to start to talk with your audience about what they care about by starting with those ideas. Are they going to be 100% effective on day one to get 1 million followers and produce massive amounts of sales? No, they're not. And that's on purpose. That's by design. That's how it's supposed to be. But if you start now and put stuff out there and you start to show up on a regular basis with content, you will get better at knowing what your audience cares about. Don't do it for the likes. Don't do it for the engagement. Talk about what will serve the people that are on your social media. If you don't have a whole lot of people on your social media, talk about what would serve the people that would buy your product or service. Think of the type of person that would buy your product or service. What would you like to share with them that would be helpful to them? And then demonstrate it. Don't just talk about it, demonstrate it. Show people. I'm serious. I spend maybe 5 minutes coming up with the ideas. I write it on my phone. I came up with this yesterday, 2 days ago, actually. wrote it on my phone, and now here I am recording it right now, and boom, that's it. It took me that long. You don't need to work that hard, my friends. You don't need to work any harder than that. Start putting stuff out there. Start showing up on a regular basis, and you're going to be surprised as to how easy the process